I don't usually get scared being home alone. I'm 24. I've lived in apartments, basements, and all kinds of places where random noises just come with the territory. But this night felt wrong from the start. My parents were out of town for the weekend, and I was house sitting. Their place is in a quiet suburb, the kind where the loudest thing you ever hear is a dog barking or someone pulling a garbage bin to the curb. I spent most of the evening cleaning, watching YouTube, and scrolling through my phone. Everything was normal until around 11:40 p.m. when the house suddenly felt colder. Not the kind of cold where the AC kicks on, but a colder in your chest feeling, like the temperature dropped inside me, not around me. I remember muttering, "Weird," but I brushed it off. About 20 minutes later, I heard the first noise. Not a slam, not a crash, just a soft creak like someone shifting their weight on one of the hallway floorboards. I was in the living room, which connects directly to the hallway. I had a perfect view down the whole thing, maybe 20 feet long, ending at my parents' bedroom. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I froze, because I know the sound of that floorboard. It only creaks when someone steps directly on it. I stared down the hall for what felt like a full minute. The house was completely still. Nothing moved, nothing shifted, just silence. Eventually, I told myself, houses make noises at night, and went back to my phone. But at 12:17 a.m., the sound came again, this time sharper, a single, deliberate step. I stood up, heart pounding, and whispered, "Hello." Almost immediately, I realized how stupid that was. If someone broke in, I probably wouldn't want to announce that I was right there. I turned off the TV so I could listen more clearly, and for a while, I heard nothing. Then, somewhere toward the back of the house, something lightly tapped against the wall, just enough to let me know something was there. I grabbed the nearest thing I could use as a weapon, a stupid plastic floor lamp, and forced myself to check every room. Bathroom, empty. Guest bedroom, empty. Parents' room, empty. Back door locked, windows locked, garage door shut, but the moment I got back to the living room, the hair stood up on my arms because the hallway light, which I had definitely turned off, was glowing. I stood there staring at that light, trying to convince myself I just forgot and left it on, but deep down I knew I didn't. So I called my friend Lucas on speaker. He picked up half asleep. "Dude, it's midnight. What's up?" I told him everything. The creak, the tapping, the light turning on. He exhaled. "You're freaking yourself out. It's an old house." But right as he said that, a soft knocking sound came from the hallway. 3 little taps, spaced out evenly, like someone knocking directly on the hardwood, right outside my view. "Lucas," I whispered, "something's knocking on the floor." He went quiet. Then he said, "Okay, walk to the front door. Now." I listened. For once in my life, I didn't try to be the brave idiot in a horror movie. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. But as I reached for the lock, I heard something behind me. A long, slow, dragging sound, like someone sliding their foot down the hallway toward the living room. I didn't look. I couldn't look. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped my keys. The dragging sound stopped right at the edge of the living room carpet, right behind me. Lucas heard it through the phone. "Dude, get out." I swung the door open and ran to my car without looking back. I sat inside with the doors locked, gasping for breath. The house behind me was completely dark again. The hallway light had turned off. I didn't go back inside that night. I slept in my car until sunrise, too afraid to move. When morning came, everything felt normal again, like the night never happened. But before I went inside, I remembered something important. In that hallway, my parents had a security camera. I unlocked the house, grabbed the tablet that stores the footage, and rewound to around midnight. At first, nothing, just an empty hallway. Then at 12:17 a.m., right when I heard that sharp creak, the camera flickered. It wasn't a glitch, but more like interference, white static for half a second. When the picture returned, the angle was off. Not dramatically, just slightly tilted, like the camera had been touched. My stomach dropped. The camera is mounted high on the wall. You need a chair to reach it. For almost a full minute the hallway was still. Then, just barely, the shadows seemed to move, not like a person walking, more like a distortion, something shifting where it shouldn't. Then the hallway light snapped on by itself. A shape stepped into view. It was this tall, narrow silhouette, like someone standing too close to the camera, out of focus and stretched. I couldn't see a face or details, just the outline of something upright and wrong. It stood there, completely motionless, for 9 seconds. Then it slowly tilted its head, as if listening to something. The moment it did, the camera cut to static. I scrubbed forward to when the picture returned. The hallway light was off again. The shape was gone. The camera angle was normal, like nothing happened. I didn't stay another night there. I grabbed my things, locked up, and drove home. But the story isn't over. A few days later, my mum called me out of nowhere. "Hey, did you leave your door open when you left?" "No. Why?" She hesitated. "Well, when we got home, your bedroom door was wide open, and the hallway light was on." I didn't know what to say. Then she added, "Oh, and something else. This is weird. Your dad swears he heard someone walking down the hallway last night. Said it sounded like you were still here. But I hadn't been there since that night. And the camera, 2 nights after I left, it died completely. It did get replaced before my parents went for another trip last month, but 2 weeks later, my dad texted me. Hallway camera keeps tilting down at night. Can't figure out why." I didn't answer because I don't think it's something wrong with the camera. And to this day, I swear, when that dragging sound stopped at my feet, I never looked behind me, but something was standing there. And whatever it was, I think it never left.